The Congo Free State, a privately owned nation. Congo before Leopold II. There were three empires, the Luba, Lunda, and Congo empires. Luba was the largest of the three. Congo was one of the last places to be colonized by Europe due to its dense jungles and dangerous animals. Many Europeans didn't want to go there because it was much easier to colonize other places that weren't as deadly. King Leopold II. He was the second king of Belgium. He modernized, with big quotation marks, the Congo area. He also genocided millions of Congolese and had their hands amputated, not directly, but as a result of his policies. He sat on the Belgian throne longer than any other Belgian ruler, a total of 44 years. He privately owned the Congo area until 1908, when everyone collectively decided that he shouldn't. He never actually went to the Congo Free State, or Africa in general, and he lied and tricked everyone into giving him the Congo area. Leopold's lies, tricks, and schemes. King Leopold II was a very tricky man. He told the Berlin Conference that he would improve the Congolese's living conditions. He would give them more rights. He would basically just make their lives a lot more European and Western, which everyone else, being European and Western, decided was a good thing. He created the International African Association, which later became the International Association of Congo. The International African Association was a fake philanthropy society. It basically helped the Congolese, or African people in general, just to make King Leopold II, who founded it, look good, look like a better human being. He lobbied in the US, he sent many gifts to Chester A. Arthur, the current United States president, to win the United States of America over into supporting him. He offered France part of the Congo area if his personal coffers couldn't keep it, and France, of course, took the offer because, it's one guy. How's he gonna pay for the entire of the Congo area? And he claimed local governments would gain power as soon as they were ready for the responsibility of it. Of course, the last two didn't happen. France never got any part of Congo, and local governments didn't get any power until the fall of Belgian Congo. The beginning of the Congo Free State. It began in 1885 after King Leopold II convinced the Berlin Conference he would make it better by not taxing trade, which was extremely important because the Congo River was extremely helpful in transporting goods through Africa. He also promised to improve the Congo area and make the people living there just have better living conditions. It was ruled privately by King Leopold II. There was no state involvement. He mostly enforced his rule via mercenaries. It was given to King Leopold through not only the Berlin Conference, but with a series of treaties with local leaders that just gave up their power to him, basically. He did commit a few atrocities, such as turning into a snake and, taking a man, as you can see right here. He killed workers. Well, he didn't do any of this himself, obviously, but his mercenaries killed workers if the rubber quota wasn't met. His workers also mutilated natives, mostly by amputating their hands or lower arms. He caused widespread disease because, one, Congolese people don't have the immune systems to handle European diseases, and he didn't really let them have medicine or anything. He didn't really care for their well-being or living. And an estimated 20 million Congolese citizens died during his reign of, reasons they wouldn't already have died. Hands. This is a big thing. Hands were collected to prove that someone was killed due to lack of rubber collection. However, only the hands were required. You weren't actually required to kill someone. They did this because bullets were in short supply, and they would much rather bullets be used for hunting rather than killing. So, the hands were cut off to prove, they died. However, they were often collected, but the person didn't die. Due to this, separate villages actually fought each other, and the winner took the hands of the other villages, so then when they didn't meet their rubber quota, they could just give them this big pile of hands and say, don't take our hands, here's some hands, so you don't get in trouble, and we don't get in trouble. Belgian soldiers amputated the hands of these citizens. The hands were also collected as trophies, just to be like, we got hands. Congo under Leopold's rule. It was one of the most authoritarian rules ever. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but it isn't, especially in a time of colonization and whatnot. You mess up in the Congo Free State, you're done for. Free market was non-existent. King Leopold decreed that private citizens could only sell to the state. All ivory and rubber production especially went to the state only. This was because he was in massive debt and he wanted to optimize income by making sure that he got literally everything. Thousands of slaves were liberated under his rule, only to work under him and, probably get their hands amputated due to a lack of rubber. Many, if not all of them, were forced to produce rubber and ivory too, by killing elephants. Rubber in Congo was collected out of vines instead of in trees, as it was in Brazil or other rubber-producing countries. Vine rubber was collected by cutting open the vine and letting it drip onto usually your arm or your hand. Once it dripped there, you would let it harden and then scrape it off into a basket. This was extremely painful since it took little skin cells and especially your hairs off of your arm as you did this. The fall of the Congo Free State. The international, mostly European, outrage over King Leopold's activities was the biggest factor into the fall of the Congo Free State. It was doing well economically, not in the sense that the citizens were rich and happy, but King Leopold could support it economically. King Leopold was removed from his power in the Free State of Congo, but he stayed King of Belgium until his death 1 year later. Belgium annexed Congo because no other European country wanted to, because of all the, atrocities that were committed there. And, they had to annex it because you can't let them be a free people, And it became the Belgian Congo, and that's what it was called until it eventually wasn't. In conclusion, King Leopold II sucked. Also, he died in 1909. which, it would have became the Belgian Congo anyway. No need to remove him from power. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.